Patrick at Pals, and today we're continuing on our engine rebuild on the LS engine, and we're finding problems with the valve train. And Jim's going to explain a little bit about intake and exhaust valves, how they should look, and what we do to remedy problems with it. If you look at this, let's start right here, Jim. This is an intake valve. Is that valve in good shape?
This valve is in excellent condition. You can tell by how clean the valve is that it's actually been burning pretty decent. And ideally you want to see a shiny spot around here, which tells us that the valve has been sealing on the seat here.
Okay, so the valve goes into the head like this, and it seals right on this edge here and this edge over here, right?
That's correct.
Now, if we go down to the end cylinder, and this is an exhaust valve, now you look at this cylinder, it's nice and dry on the inside. And we get down to this one, and what do we see? We see oil inside of that valve, right? And then we look at the valve, and it's black. Remember, the intake valve was nice and bright and shiny. This one is black. What's going on here, Jim?
Okay, if you look at this valve, which was in the cylinder next to it, I got a little oil on here, but you can see how nice and clean this is. That means it's been burning properly. And if you look, it's still got a little bit of shininess there. It's been sealing, but not ideally. This one is all black and carbon deposited, and it has no shiny spots there.
So it's leaking.
Yes, which means it's been leaking past the seal.
And that's why it's wet on the inside here. So what will we do? There's a process called lapping the valves. Explain that process to us. That's what will remedy this problem,
yes,
right?
Yes, the valve doesn't appear to have any real deep pitting or damage to it, and it is straight. So what lapping is, we've got a special compound that we put on there, kind of like I call it, if you want to say, it could be like a liquid sandpaper type thing. You just put this little bit of stuff on there, and what we would do is we would put this in, and with a special tool, we'd run it and spin it back and forth multiple times, which will clean up that surface and clean up this surface, and by doing it together, it makes it an exact perfect match, so it'll seal properly.
It'll seal properly. Now, if this valve had gouges in it or had severe imperfections, you'd simply replace the valve. If the imperfections are in the head, then the head has to go in to be machined. Is that correct?
Yeah, you'd have to depending on how much the damage is here, you'd have to have it the valve seat. That's what they call this ring in here. They'd have to have that pulled out and a new one put in, and then it'd have to be recut and reground to match the new valve.
Okay. So if you've got an LS engine, bring it to Pals. We can diagnose it and make it like brand new. This engine looks bad right now, but when we get done to it, it's going to run like a brand new engine. See you soon.